Hello, I'm Dr. B.B. Rao of Usha Clinic and founder of the websites qmedicaldoubts.blogspot.in and drraghavamedicaldoubts.in. In these videos, I am providing the basic knowledge about the commonly occurring diseases for the knowledge of the general people and for basic knowledge of medicals. Today, I am going to discuss about the anterior gastrojejunostomy operation. Anterior gastrojejunostomy operation is rarely performed due to the possibilities of regurgitation vomiting. Conditions where this operation is performed, where dense adhesions will prevent the access to the posterior wall of the stomach. It is performed as a palliative measure in gastric carcinoma so that the gastrojejunal anastomosis is not so easily involved by extension of the growth. Procedure. In this operation, the jejunum is brought round the transverse colon and applied to the anterior wall of the stomach. So the efferent loop is always kept along enough not to be compressed by the transverse colon. The anastomosis is made at the most dependent part of the stomach and horizontal. Jejunal anastomosis. Between the afferent and efferent loops of the jejunum is made only in case of carcinoma. If it is done in other cases, it will lead to anastomotic ulcer as alkaline juices of the duodenum and jejunum will not get an access to the gastrojejunal anastomosis but are bypassed through the anastomosis between the afferent and efferent loops. Post-operative care. Intravenous infusion is to be continued with the glucose saline. At the same time, nasogastric aspiration is continued every hour on the first post-operative day. A good intake and output chart is maintained with 4-hourly record of pulse, respiration and temperature. The intravenous infusion depends upon the amount of aspiration and urinary output. Intravenous fluid should never be less than 1000 ml and the total nasogastric aspiration and urinary output of the day to combat the loss of water through the skin and lungs. On the first post-operative day, nothing by mouth given except for a little sips of water just to keep the mouth wet. In the evening of the day of operation, the patient is popped up. This will minimize the respiratory complications and post-operative deep vein thrombosis of legs. The patient is encouraged to move his limbs. On the second post-operative day, 1 ounce of sterile water hourly by mouth, but should be stopped immediately if there is a distension of abdomen or if nasogastric aspiration increases too much in and out. Abdomen is auscultated at least twice a day to detect the peristaltic sounds of the intestine. The peristalsis should start within 48 hours of operation. With the appearance of the peristalsis, the IV drip and the nasogastric suction are stopped and more of fluid can be permitted to the patient by mouth. On the third day morning, a low bowel enema is given and the patient is allowed to take a semi-solid diet as soup, toast and milk. On fourth day, he may be allowed to get up. Gradually soft rice is given and a normal diet is resumed from fifth day onwards. Antibiotics by IM or IV route are always given in these types of operations. Vitamin supplementation is a must. Vitamin C is concerned with the quick healing of the wound and anastomosis. That is all about the anterior gastrojejunostomy operation. And in the next video, I will discuss about some other topic on peptic ulcer. Thank you.